Hi, this is my very first video, so please forgive. I'm going to make it brief, but I'm doing this primarily for Rookie and other fellow rockhounders, dipping my toe in the big wide digital world. Anyhow, there's some of the little bits I play with and use. Yes, Brasso, believe it or not, on some rocks it does actually work, as does this stuff here, which is a metal polish. Anyhow, this is the bit I'm using to polish and grind. I got a hold of some papers from a fellow in Adelaide. They're primarily automotive. They sort of kind of work, and you'll see what I mean a bit later. Anyhow, that's my little wet saw. There is a reservoir that goes up. Get my finger in view. There we are. That goes there, sort of tucks in on that side. And Rookie, you're a great big voter, thanks mate. That tip about turning it around and cutting towards you has helped heaps. So that's my setup, and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, here we are, my little collection of crystals. Now, where is he? This little fellow right here. The sun's on the screen, so it's really hard for me. But this is the little devil that started it all. Beautiful little piece of clear, smoky quartz. Believe it or not, I found him in the backyard. This is the little blighter that started the lot. So now I've gone from that to that, as you can see. Lots and lots of clear quartz. Some were got from here and in surrounding areas, some in the far north when I had cause to be up there. I'll just give these a bit of a dampen down. Now, some of my most recent finds, I'm really amazed at. Like this devil here, which you can see I have cut into, but that devil there, you can see I have cut into him. He was part of a huge boulder. And actually, unfortunately, the big hunk of smoky that you can see through the dirt there, which I will get to, it split, so I had to go smaller hunks. So that's him. And it was that big rounded bit there was what was sticking up out of the creek bed. Ended up with a boulder about, I don't know, 5 kilos in weight, 5-10 kilos. This fellow here, I've attempted to polish down. Sort of got a result. Not one I'm overly flashed with, because while he's wet, it looks magnificent. You can see the structure in there and the colour. And that in there, I don't know whether I'll ever get rid of it. I'm going to give it a whirl, but anyway. But when he's dry, there's lots of minute scratches that I just can't seem to lose, which is really frustrating. But anyway, he is a part of that same lot. What other little ones you can see? Lovely little quartz points. And that's how he came out of the paddock. I have not done a jolly thing with that little fellow. But I don't know if I can get the clarity for you. But just, yeah. It's a very addictive thing. Once you're into crystals, that's the end of it. This is another nice little one. A few little inclusions in him that refract the light, so you get little rainbows through him here and there. But again, he's another little one that needs a clean. There's another nice lump. Again, this one is just as I found him. I have not done a jolly thing to this. And look at that. Isn't that magnificent? Now, the one that really did kick me along the road is, where is he, if I can find him in the screen finder? This devil right here. That was found up the far north. Now, when I spied him, about that much, was sitting up out of the dirt, and I thought, oh, beauty, clear crystal. And that's what come away. Now, unfortunately, this was about 6 feet away from a bulldozer. So quite clearly, the sod ran over it and broke off the tip. So can you imagine the geode that came out of? But that's that one. When I found him, that just spurred me on, and I wanted to find my big old cluster of my own. I've since traded and or bought bits of geodes with beautiful clusters, but nothing beats finding it yourself. So, but as you can see, lots and lots of crystals in various bits and pieces. This one is really interesting. Can you see the sheen on him? And the sheen there. Now that's just more than the water. But again, this one come from up the far north. You can see I took a slice out of him. Have a little go at him. Oh, what other interesting ones. Now there's, little... This is generally how I find them. Still attached to their host rock. If I pick them up, it's usually because there's one or two really good points, or they just have a lovely structure to them. Or they're fractured in an interesting way. This one, or these two I should say. But look, isn't that the bomb? And that one. And unfortunately, I don't know if you can see on that face. Or is it that face? There it is. That dirty great crack right up there, but just see the clarity. Very nice. Anyhow, moving on. A couple of other little interesting bits that I have found in my travels. This came out of a paddock where supposedly garnets were mined way back in the day. And I don't know if you can see, but there, across that edge, whoops, sorry, flies biting. Across that edge there are crystals. And there especially, you can see them. And I haven't done anything to that one either. That's just as is as I found it. Still learning to polish, so I'm not going to touch this until I get good. But here's an interesting mineral find. This fellow too, I have tried to polish a bit. It's really weird. When he's wet, jet black. I'll just smooth that off for you. You can see the bright red. Now whether or not that's jasper, I don't know. But I've tried to polish him up to show it off, but again, the scratches which you can see there, they disappear when it's wet, but yeah. And I find that the black is very soft and the red just polishes up a dream. So I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do about him. And just for interest's sake, that is a solid lump of galena, or galena, however you pronounce it. Heavy as. And that's just how I found him. Just like that. And I didn't even dig for it. That and all of these I found just sitting in the surface or just poking up through the surface. So, and just one more little interesting bit. Don't know if you've ever seen it, but that is gypsum, soft as soft. It's 1, maybe 2 on the Mohs scale. So very gently polish him up and you get layer cake. So